For this week's breakdown, I want to take a look at a defense out of the 4-3 over that's called Fire Zone 2. Now, what I'm about to show you is not a defense that I would run unless my opponent was inside my 10-yard line. I want to stress that this is something that I would throw at them once they get inside my 10. So I wouldn't do it any other time but that. So I want to go ahead and show you how to set this one up. And with the Fire Zone 2, what you have here is you actually have a 5-man pass rush, at least by default. So here's the 5 defenders that are going to be rushing the quarterback, as you can see on your screen. And then you're going to have a couple other defenders that are going to be dropping back in hook zones, and I'll go ahead and show those two. You're going to have these 2 backers. They're going to go ahead and drop back in hook zones. And then out here on the outside, you have the 2 corners playing the flat areas in this area here. And then, of course, you're going to have the 2 safeties are going to go ahead and play 2 deep coverage. Now, because they're playing 2 deep coverage, you really don't have to have this, since it's only, 7 yards from where I'm at right now. If you're inside the 10-yard line, they're not going to drop all that far back, obviously, because they're already pretty much as far as they're going to drop back. And honestly, you don't even have both of those guys dropping back playing that 2 deep zone if you can get pressure quick enough. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the play. And as we go through it, I want to show you the offensive play that we're going to run this against. Let's just go ahead and show that. And this is a typical play that you might see your opponent run, and this is just a slants play out of the strong normal formation. You can see here as you look at it, you're going to see that the fullback is actually staying in the pass block. Now, because this play is pretty effective, you'll see a lot of guys run, especially if you see your opponent. For example, if you're on offense and you've seen this out here on the outside, you see press coverage on the outside, probably one of the first things you're going to think of is it's probably man coverage, 2-man under. Maybe they're running some kind of bump and run. Boy, man, if I run that slant play, I'm going to be able to beat it. And that's something I would do. I mean, if I saw this type of coverage, I'd probably hot route or audible into a slant, or hot route one of my receivers to run a slant route, knowing I could probably beat it. Now, what I want to show you is we're going to change things up. We're not going to have it 2 deep coverage. Instead, we're actually going to have a cover 1 out of this, at least with a 1 deep coverage. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Even though this is a zone defense, we're going to turn it into a cover 1. Normally, cover 1, you wouldn't run this. Well, actually, technically it's going to be more or less it's going to be cover 1. Let's just call it cover 1 because that's really what it is, even though it's a zone defense. Normally when you associate cover 1, you associate it to being a man defense. So I want to go ahead and show you this setup here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take control of this guy right here, which happens to be the free safety. And then we're going to go ahead and hot route him. Now, you can do a couple different things with him. Here, we're going to go ahead and put him in a deep zone into this area here. Just keep in mind, he's still going to cover anywhere in this area here. But if you wanted to, you could hot route him into a hook zone, so you'll cover down in here. Another thing you might want to do is, especially if you're playing against a quarterback that has some speed, you might want to put him in QB spy. Yeah, you can do all kinds of things with them. Whatever you decide on doing, here's QB spy. But we're going to go ahead and leave him in the deep zone coverage, even though there's a lot of things you can do with him. And then the next thing that we want to do here is we want to go ahead and take control of the strong safety. And now we're going to bring him down in the box. And we're going to go ahead and re-hot route him to blitz, such as you see on your screen there. So right now you can see that he's blitzing. And we're actually going to stay in control of him before the snap. Now, if you want, you can put him back about 5 yards from the line of scrimmage and then go ahead and control the free safety and just kind of watch the middle yourself. Or you can go ahead and stay in control of the strong safety and look to go ahead and stop the run if they were to run an inside run play. Maybe you get them in position, or maybe you get after the quarterback if they pass the ball. So it's really up to you. If right now we're going to have him about 3 or 4 yards from the line of scrimmage. And as you can see right now, what this does by putting him in the box, as you look at your screen here, you're going to end up having all these defenders. So we're actually going to have 8 defenders. We're daring our opponent to throw the ball. We're saying, hey, look, we're going to load the box up and we're going to stop the run. And that's what we're hoping on. We're hoping that our opponent tries to throw the ball, because what we're hoping is that we're going to get some pressure on him real quick, either cause a turnover or a sack, one or the other, and that's what we're hoping on. So we're going to put 8 in the box. And this is going to allow us to get pressure coming from one of these 2 defenders. So we're looking to either get pressure coming from the strong safety, who hopefully will shoot through this A gap into this area here. He'll come through the A gap and get pressure. Or we're looking for this left outside linebacker, or excuse me, not left outside linebacker, sorry about that, the right outside linebacker, to go ahead and bring pressure off the edge and get pressure on the quarterback from over here. That's what we're looking at. So we're hoping that one of those 2 defenders is going to bring the pressure. This particular video, what's actually going to happen is the right outside linebacker is actually going to get the sack. So let's go ahead and run it, and we'll take a look at it here. You'll see he comes off the edge, and the right cornerback gets pressure on the quarterback. If I rewind this just a little bit, I want you guys to notice something about the fullback. Now, keep in mind, this is a strong formation, so if he's in the eye, he may get over there quick enough to block this, but chances are he might not, especially with that strong safety blitzing up the gut. He may end up doing something like this. For example, here as you see it, what the fullback's going to do, at least initially, he'll look to block outside, work his way back to the inside, and then maybe come all the way across and try to make the block over here on the right outside linebacker. The problem is he's so far over, he can't get over fast enough to go ahead and block the right outside linebacker and allow us to get the pressure. Now, as you can see, if your opponent is able to get this ball off fast enough against this particular defense, he could possibly complete it to here or over here. What we're hoping for is we can get there quick enough, and he's not able to do that, and he's not really paying attention. Now, keep in mind, even if he does get it off, these linebackers who are dropping back in hook zones might be able to get over. Here they are right here. They're dropping back in hook zones. They still may be able to get over here and pick that pass off. As your opponent was to go ahead and say he tries to throw over here, and then hopefully as this guy's coming into this area here, that linebacker can pick that pass off possibly. If he throws out to the flats, well, he's in deep doo-doo, because as you look at it, you're going to notice that these two defenders are playing the flat. So if he tries to throw to one of those flat receivers, in this case it ended up being the tight end out there in the flat on the right as you're looking at your screen. Here's the tight end right here. And then there's a good chance the ball is going to be picked off. So what we're trying to do here is either get an interception, get a sack, or some kind of thing that's going to help us out and keep our opponent out of the end zone. In this case, we get a sack. So really what I want you guys to understand on this is not a defense that you're going to run outside of the red zone, especially mainly just inside the 10s about the time I would run it. I know some of you guys might not want to do this, and that's all right. You know, I understand that not everybody's always on the same page as I am with things. I'm just trying to give you guys some ideas of stuff that I do. Sometimes this year I've been doing, especially if I see my opponent can beat a lot of my blitzes that I run early in the game, if I start noticing he can beat them, if I'm running outside of the red zone, so I'm running a blitz and he's at my 40 and he's able to beat it, then what I'll start doing is playing more coverage type defenses. I won't blitz all that much, and then I'll wait till he gets inside my red zone, then I'll start bringing the heat, because I know that I can use the back of the end zone as a 12th man, and that's kind of what I'm trying to show you here. So hopefully this is something that you guys can add if you've not already done it, and if you don't want to add it, that's fine. You know, like I said, I don't take anything from anybody as far as what I do. If they don't like it, they don't like it. You know, I'm not that type of person to get mad at people. So the name of the defense is called 4-3 over, and the name of the play is called Fire Zone 2. So just take a look at this one, and it's a nice play to go ahead and bring some pressure. In this case, is you're going to come from the right end or from the strong safety.